Hi, it's Meg and Min in the kitchen again. And again, we're cooking up a storm for the holidays. And we're having guests and friends over, and we're going out to dinners, and we're doing a lot. And so, even at home here, we're cooking up a storm in our own kitchen. Because of course, even if we're going to visit friends and families, it is our intention to take something along with us. So we're cooking up dishes for both at home and for visiting friends. Today we're going to be doing two meat kind based meat dishes. We're going to be doing steak, and we're going to prepare the steak in 3 different ways. We have a ton of spices on our counter here. I've never seen so many spices in all my life. So the steak is going to be 1 steak 3 ways. Plant-based we have just uploaded. If you guys get a chance, you can go over and take a peek at our plant-based dishes that we've just uploaded. 1 plant-based done in 3 different ways, and we just want you guys to see the different spices that we're going to be using for our upcoming 2 kind of dishes, and those are coming up right as we speak. And then we're going to begin the cooking, this humongous cooking adventure. We want you guys to come along. It's going to be really good, very interesting dishes, and I know you guys are going to like it. We're going to do Mediterranean steak, we're going to do Asian steak, so it's going to be just fantastic. The same. Okay, but in the meantime, let's have a cup of tea, and then we're going to start this great cooking mukbang. Okay. Happy holidays, guys, from our home to yours. On behalf of Min and myself, let's go and have a cup of tea. Okay. Okay guys, so you may be wondering, this is a very good tea that we're going to be having. It is a Vita Cup infused tea beauty blend with collagen, biotin and folic acid, and it's by Herbal Robiobos. This tea is so good. I heard about it and I started to drink this tea, and I can tell you I'm really enjoying it. So we're just going to go ahead and have a cup of that tea while we get ready to cook our very humongous dish. Okay, so I put some in the pot to sort of boil with the water, and then I put a bag in here. We just want to give credit to Audio Library for supplying the music, and it's a non-copyright sort of channel. I'm inviting you guys to go over there and support them. Okay guys, so meet us back here so we can begin this great expedition, cooking expedition, of course. Alrighty, so in a bit, let me have this cup of tea and we will be back in a bit. Okay. Okay guys, so Meg here. Today we're going to try for our first steak dish. We're going to try the Korean steak. I had the opportunity of walking into a Korean restaurant recently, and I tried their food, and by just tasting the steak or whatever protein they have, I could tell what they put in, the ingredients that they put in. And so it was just so mouth watering, and I decided I want to do this for the holidays. This is one of the dishes I want to do. I want to really try, even though I did not see the ingredients, but from the taste I could tell what they put in the dish, in the meal. And so I'm going to try that today, and hopefully it comes out the way I taste it and the way I perceive it to be. What I'm going to use on my countertop here, we have I'm gonna lower my camera so you guys can see. On my countertop here, I have 3 beautiful pieces of steak. I use all 3 pieces to make up 3 separate steak dishes, and I know you guys are gonna really like it because I can just see in my mind eyes and taste on my taste bud what these dishes are gonna be like. I know you guys are gonna just love this dish. It's gonna be delicious, they're gonna be good, and I want you guys to come along with us. For the Korean dish, I think I'm gonna try, I could taste the soy sauce. I could tell they use Coca-Cola. The sesame seed was pronounced. I'm gonna use some hot soya bean paste, which we're looking at there on the counter right here. I could taste that. We're gonna use some chopped garlic, some green onions. We're gonna need the steak, of course, and I'm gonna also use some onion. I want to put some, I want to use 2 oils. I want to use the sesame and I want to use the peanut oil and see how we come out of that. We're gonna use some sea salt. Soya sauce again is the curcumin. I love the curcumin. We're gonna be using the curcumin soya sauce. We're gonna use some peppercorn or chili flakes, whichever, to give it a little heat, because I could taste that there also, supplementary to the hot soybean paste. So yeah, I think it's going to be good. All right, so let's begin the process. Okay, so here we have, let me turn around my flip camera. Here we have 3 beautiful pieces of steak right here, and yeah, we're gonna put 2 aside until later. Okay, we're gonna put these 2 pieces aside because we're gonna do that later. Since I'll be handling so much protein, I just wearing a latex free gloves, so don't judge me, guys, please. Thanks. Okay, so the other piece of steak we're gonna put in this tray here. Now, we have found out that the best way to prepare your steak is always to sear it. If you can sear, it doesn't matter if you're doing Mediterranean, Caribbean, Korean, Asian, whatever you're doing, the best way is to sear and to seal in that moisture, that flavor in your steak. That's exactly what we're going to be doing for all of our steak cooking today. That we're going to go to the stove and we're going to sear this piece of steak. Now, before we do so, we're just going to go ahead and sort of dress it to make it accommodating for the dish that we're going to be doing. Okay, so I'm just going to clear up my counter as usual. I'm going to take some things out of the way, and then we're going to start the process. Now, I'm going to go to the stove and sear this, but before I do, I'm just going to brush on some oil, sesame oil in it. Okay. And we're also going to brush on some of the hot soya paste, soya bean paste on this also. And in this I've mixed some soya sauce. course, and I put some oyster sauce in also. Okay? Okay guys, so we're at the stove. I went ahead and put in a little of the peanut oil, sauce oil in the pot, and we've put a little sesame to give that Asian taste. We've chopped some yellow onion, and we have some green onion also, and a clove of garlic, and oops. Okay, so we are just about ready now to put in the steak, and we don't want to make this very hot. We have medium heat going, and we're just going to sear the steak on both sides, all 4 sides, all right around. Okay, let's go on. And that's just going on to the medium heat, and I'm just going to put in the garlic so to give it that little flavor. Okay guys, so I just want you guys to see how this is coming along nicely, and we keep turning it so it can sear on all sides, and I'm going to show you how to. It's so beautiful. Look at that. So pretty. Very pretty. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put in the old peppercorn. Okay, so we're going to put in a few pieces of old peppercorn, and we're going to crush a couple pieces and put them in separately. Okay guys, so while that's going, we're just going to go ahead with the peppercorn, and we're just going to squish that, coarsely chop them. I'm going to leave some of them old, so crushed peppercorn onto the steak to give it that heat. So that's what's happening there. Very pretty. We're just going to pour some of the oil over the peppercorn. And to do the sides, all you really need to do is just to hold this down, to sear the sides. Hold it down in the pot until it's seared. You turn it and hold the other side down, and so all sides can be done. And while that's sizzling away, what we're going to do is just to go ahead and we're going to put in a bit more garlic. We're going to put in the onions. What we're going to do is go ahead and we're going to make up the paste with the hot soya bean and the Coke, and we're going to use that to base all over the steak. And and that will complete the process. Okay guys, so what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and take out half a teaspoon of the hot soya bean paste, and we're going to put it in this container. And we're going to open the Coke. And we're going to pour a little of that in. We're going to mix it all up. And we're going to pour it over the steak. Okay guys, so now that the steak is done, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put on the green onion and let it sit a little bit and permeate, okay, over the steak. And then we're going to take it to the counter and complete the process. Okay guys, so that's the Korean steak with Coke. That's a Korean steak right there. And what we're going to do, we're going to just put a pinch of salt. And that should complete the process. So that's, and we're going to put a few flakes of chili pepper also. That is the dish. So that's the dish right up there, close guys, up close and delicious. So there you go. So now we're going to move on to the Mediterranean steak. One is going to be the Mediterranean steak, and this one is going to be a Mediterranean rub steak in Mediterranean sauce. And I'm hoping we can pull through this one. Here we have a bit of steak flank, and again, as I've told you before, the best way to prepare your steak, we're just taking that out of the refrigerator, and the best way is to sear any steak. That's the best way to keep the juice in. We also make this one extra extra tender, and we're going to put the butter on. The butter is going to make it tender once you sear it with the butter, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to use some olives, green olives, to give it that Mediterranean kind of taste, feel. Of course, it's Mediterranean, Greek, whatever it, you know, we want the taste. We're going to use some dry rub, which is going to be garlic and onion rub. So we're going to use that also. We're going to put some black pepper. We're going to use some orange zest here. We're going to use some orange juice, which we have gone ahead and pre-juice, which is here. And we're just going to squeeze a little more on. So we're going to sizzle that in the orange juice, and we're going to start it off with the butter. We're going to use a little wine also. I'm going to pour. Oops, the wrong cup. We're gonna pour a little cooking wine, which we have there, in over our steak, and so we're just gonna go ahead and put on a little black pepper right now. Then we're gonna put on the butter, and we're gonna begin the process. Okay guys, so let's begin. Okay. Use just garlic, a little garlic powder. I'm going to go ahead and put on the orange zest. And put on the butter. This is going to make it so tender all over. I'm going to put in some chili pepper all over. We're going to put some pimento, spice, and those are like black pepper, but they're bigger and the same kind of heat it gives. Okay, and again guys, my gloves are not dirty just because I've been handling the dry seasoning. Okay, so we're going to go to the stove now. Now guys, the trick about this one is to make sure your pot is hot, because you want the sizzle when you put that butter. We're not going to put oil because the butter is already on the steak, and so we're going to just put that on the stove. You can see the butter start melting. A little mustard to put in the pot also. Just gonna put a little mustard in. We just basin the steak with the mustard to make it tender, and we put some also in the butter that is sizzling away here. That's going to make the steak very tender. How to make that, and all of this is Mediterranean. Every single aspect of this cooking here is Mediterranean. Okay guys, so while that's going, we're going to put a few mustard seed in. If you don't have the mustard and you have the mustard seed, go right ahead and use it. We're going to put in a few pieces of coriander leaves. Turn around. Ooh, look how beautiful that is. Very pretty. Okay guys, so that is braised on all sides, and so what we're going to do at this point in time, we're going to put in a few pieces of garlic. I'm going to put in a few olives. And while that's going, I'm going to put in some of the orange juice. We're going to put in our white wine, cooking wine of course. We're going to throw in a few pieces of thyme. Oh guys, this is beautiful. Smells so good. And this is cooking away. And this is done. This is actually done, guys. This is done. Okay, so we're going to go to the counter and complete this dish. Okay guys, so we're back at the counter and we're ready just to take out this beautiful Mediterranean steak. All over this beautiful dish, this beautiful Mediterranean dish and this rich Mediterranean sauce. We're just gonna pour over. Wow, this beautiful steak. So beautiful, look at that. Beautiful, looking so healthy, looking so appetizing. It is just so beautiful, guys. And it's like I'm ready to eat. I am ready to eat. This is just so cute, so beautiful. And then you have the olives, you have the thyme, you have the it's just beautiful, beautiful. We're gonna take a close-up shot of this. It's so cute. I can't even eat it because it's so cute. Let us get up close and personal, guys. Close and personal. Look at this Mediterranean steak. Isn't that pretty? More than pretty. The final steak we're going to be doing now is the Caribbean. Now this one, you know, the Caribbean flavor, it has the island. You can taste the island in the steak. The curry, the sauce, the spices, the sunshine, the beaches in this steak. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait to do this one. Okay guys, so let's go. Roll that camera. We're ready to go. I just so ready to cook this one. Okay, here we go. Meet me guys at the counter. Okay guys, so the third and final piece of steak for this session of cooking is going to be done Caribbean style. Wherever you find the concentration of ethnic people, ethnicity, they sort of season their meat and in a different way, different from everybody else. Wherever you find a concentration of ethnicity, they season their meat totally different. They're people of flavor. Their meats are raw. Their seasoned or pound out, and it's more spicy. It's not bland at all. It's something that flavorful, a lot of sauce, and it's just beautiful. You can taste the sunshine, in other words, in the Caribbean slash Latino dishes. That's just the way they cook. And so our final bit of steak, which we have right here, we're gonna season this in a Caribbean way, and it's gonna be totally different now. Whereas I started out in my gloves, now I'm gonna need my gloves because this is a lot of rubbing. Oops, Caribbean people rub out their meat, rub out their seasoning, rub out just about everything to make it very flavorful, to taste that concentration of the herb and seasoning. And one of the, you can also taste that in Jamaica, jerk chicken, how flavorful it is, how different it is. And so we're going to use a lot of flavors. We're going to use peppercorn, supplementary to pimento seeds, and so we have all of that in our spices as we pour out. What is pimento? Pimento is another kind of spice that you find mostly in the Caribbean. They're like corn pepper, black pepper, but they're bigger and it's not as hot. It's hot, but not as hot as pepper, as the black pepper. So that's pimento. So in the Caribbean, it's usually crushed, and so supplementary to all of that, we're gonna put in chili pepper, flake pepper, because Caribbean dishes are usually very hot and spicy. A lot of pepper. I'm going to put a little cayenne pepper, just and they never generally like measure what they do. It's just pour in. And so I'm going to use Maggi. I'm going to use the all-purpose. Hopefully we're in focus. Yeah, all-purpose seasoning. So this is what we're going to be using, and we in the Caribbean it's just eyeballed. Nobody measure anything. You just know the right amount that is going to make it so flavorful. So and we're going to put a little turmeric or curry powder, whichever you have. And flavorful, we're going to use accent Saison, accent original, and you find this mostly when Latinos do their cooking, and so the Caribbean also adapt that same concept. So the soya sauce, which we pour in here, that's what the dish is about. This pepper, you want to make sure it's finely ground and down. That's exactly how it's done. Once that's done, you pour that in. You want to pour in as much as possible. That's how the Caribbean dishes are done. We're going to put in our pimento. We're not going to break those, just going to pour in the pimento. We're not going to put any salt because then it's going to be too much. Usually a lot of onion and garlic are in these dishes, and so we're going to put in some onions. And the Caribbean onions are usually finely chopped up, finely chopped up. Okay, so it's more like that, finely chopped up. And then again, Caribbean meats or poultry, whatever they're doing, is always well done. Never rare, never medium rare. It's always very well done, and that's exactly what we're going for today. So you got to make sure that all of the herbs and seasonings are all squished out and chopped. We're going to put in some garlic powder. That's very important. Dry powder is very big. Caribbean cooking is big in dry powders. And escallion is a must. And the escallion is usually beaten out tenderly beaten out and chopped up finely. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Until it's tender, then it is chopped up finely and poured over. And it's poured over. Sometimes they use a knife or whatever they can get. They just use a knife, just crush this out really quickly. And then after they beat it up tender, they cut it up. Or they can just pour it in there just like that. Alright, what else? Garlic. A Caribbean dish is never done until you have garlic. Garlic is a must for all Caribbean dishes. Okay guys, once in the Caribbean, once the rubbing is done, the hand rubbing, and you rub that in and it's marinated for 10 minutes or so, put it aside, cover it over on the counter, it's marinated. Now it's time to go to the stove. When you get to the stove, we never usually use like fancy dancy oil like olive oil and peanut oil and the sesame oil. No, it's either coconut oil or vegetable oil or corn oil or something. And today we're using the Wesson canola oil here, and that's the one we're going to be using because Caribbean cooking is no pushover. It's real cooking, delicious real cooking, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So yeah, we're waiting for our pot to heat up, and once that is done, we're going to put it in our steak, and you can see the real rubbing, real sauce. This ain't no pushover sauce at all. This is real sauce. And so we're going to go ahead and put this steak. First of all, with Caribbean cooking, you got to take off all the season, because since the cooking process is so long, you got to take off all the seasoning that easily cooked out or burnt up, and when the food, when the meat or the poultry or the chicken or the fish or whatever it is like 5 minutes to go before it's done, that is when you put in all the green seasoning. That's when you put in all the scallion. Even though you season the pot with that, you do not put that in with the meat. So we're going to go ahead and put in the steak, and we're going to leave the seasoning. So while the oil is sizzling, we're going to go ahead and brush off the seasoning, and we're going to put that steak right into the pot. With the Caribbean cooking, if the animal is younger, it takes a quicker time. I would say half an hour. If the animal is older, it takes a longer time, which is usually, let's say, 45 to 1 hour to cook or more, because the kind of concept Caribbean kind of cooking of meat is more like when you cook that pull kind of meat, where you cook it so tender in that crock pot and then you pull it. Same concept. So this cooking, this steak probably will take maybe half an hour, and that's exactly what we're going to give it, and that should make it tender and more like a pull meat. And we're going to let this cook and keep turning it, because that's exactly how the dish is done. Okay guys, so the steak is almost finished browning. After about 15 minutes, the steak is finally brown, and so you can see the pimento and everything. This is a steak, piece of steak. So we're gonna how it is done in the Caribbean. Now you pour the juice over, then you pour water. So we're gonna pour in the juice, and then we're gonna pour in water. Okay. We're gonna turn the heat up to medium. We're going to go ahead and pour in the juice, not the seasoning, just the juice. The seasoning comes after. So if you get that seasoning in, you got to take that out, because that is going to cook out and cause a mess. It's just the juice that you're putting at this time. So we're going to fish out all of the seasoning, and we're going to just take those and put them back the onion, the scallion. Okay, so we're going to leave it for a little bit, and once it starts cooking and saute a little bit in its sauce, then we're going to pour in water and cover it over for another half an hour. You want to keep your stove as clean as possible. So just move it around, let it saute a little bit in its own juice. So we're going to pour in a little water, and you put like half a cup of water every time and let it cook for a little bit. So every time you put half a cup of water until it's finished, okay? Water, and we're gonna let it sit, cook for a little bit in its own sauce. Once it's cooked down, we're gonna put in all the green herbs and seasoning, and that should complete the process. Okay guys, so this has been cooking for approximately half an hour, and now I think it's ready for the rest of seasoning, and we're gonna go right ahead and pour that in. This is at this time, once it is thoroughly cooked, then at this point you put in all of the other seasoning. This is covered over and continue cooking slowly in that kind of crock pot concept until it's totally done. Just going to continue to pour over its own juice. Okay guys, so it's just about done, and we're ready to remove this after 1 hour on the stove. We're ready to move this to the counter. Okay guys, so in our platter here we have a kind of Caribbean flair, which means we have the hot Scotch bonnet pepper, we have the ginger, and we have the pimento, which represent the island flavor or flavors. So we're going to pour on our steak onto that same platter to complete the process. Rich and beautiful. We're just going to put it right there. And pour on some of that rich, beautiful flavor. Okay guys, so that's the Caribbean steak. You can see the Scotch bonnet pepper, the ginger, the pimentos right there, and that's our steak guys. That's no push. So yeah guys, just as we enjoy bringing this dish to you, I know that you're going to enjoy it, because we enjoy preparing these dishes. We're hoping that you'll go out and recreate these dishes. And again, that's another close-up look of our steak.